Hello, 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 dreamers. Badla here. As always, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. So, this is going to be on the cusp weekly reading. This is for all of our lovely cusp signs. So, let's jump right on in. We have Aries, Taurus, cusp. There is a sense here, guys, that somebody is being knocked out of their high horse, high horse, high horse. Um, there is somebody that you've been dealing with that has been presenting themselves or talking or carrying themselves in a way where they may have felt superior to you in some way, whether this is at work, whether this is in your personal life, etc. There's somebody here that was either always trying to like outshine you or trying to show the world how much better they are than you in some type of field or in some type of space, and you're seeing the demise of this person, or you're seeing this person being knocked off their horse. There's something that they're either saying or doing that is going to allow everyone to see this person's true intention, or to see who this person really is. Now, why is it that this is coming out for you guys, where there is a sense here that some of you may had in the past taken a, and I'm going to do it in quotations, right, like a bigger person type of approach when it came to dealing with this person. You're just like, I'm not going to argue with them, I'm not going to do this back and forth with this person, right? But as you were doing that actively, let's put it this way, like in the 3D or whatever, there was part of your spirit, a part of you that was like, but justice is going to be served. Like this person's true intentions, this person's true nature is going to come to light. And one of the things that you need to be reminded of this week is that you are under favor, you are under grace. And when you live your life under grace, there is not much that you need to do for the truth to be revealed. There is nothing that you have to go seek. There is nothing that you need to do. All you have to do is like ask for it, in a sense like, oh, I'm ready for the truth, or I'm ready for this to happen. And it literally comes knocking at your door, knocking at your door. And that is kind of like what is happening. Like something is being on, like something is unfolding. Someone is having some type of demise. Somebody is getting, but you're seeing it, you're having the front row seat to this. Now, for those of you that this has to do with an ex, so if this does have to do romantically, it's like whatever this person did to you, whether the betrayal was with another person, whether the betrayal was financially, emotionally, whatever it was, physically, like you're seeing them get exactly what it is that they poured into you, exactly what it is that they did to you. Now they're receiving it, but they're receiving it like 10 times worse, and they're receiving it very publicly, where you may have tried to not slander their name, you may have tried to keep certain things off the radar when they were doing it to you. Um, and I don't know why, but that's the way that it's coming up. But now it's like everybody is seeing like what they're receiving, and you're having the front row seat to this. Stay humble, my love. That's all I'm gonna say. Stay humble. Um, and I'll share like a quick little story. There was something in the spheres. There's something that has been circling since, for me personally, since December. It came in a dream in December, and I shared it with somebody. And a couple of nights ago, I was laying down to bed, and I was like, Spirit, I'm ready to receive it. Like I'm ready for the news. And that was like a couple of nights ago, and then the following morning this person texts me and it's like, I need to tell you something. And it's like what I had told them, the vision, the premonition, whatever you want to call it, that I had in December in regards to a situation, has come to pass in the reality, has come to pass in their life, like, and it came to pass exactly I had, how it had came in my dream. And it was something that I needed to hear. And it is one of those situations of like someone else's demise, if that makes any sense, in a way or in a form, right? But I didn't have to do anything other than be like, all right, I'm ready to hear this. And like literally the night before this person reached out, Spirit was like, hey, they're going to contact you tomorrow and let you know this and this and this and that. And I was like, all right. So when I got the text, when I got the call, I already knew what it was in regards to. And that's kind of like the energy that I'm picking up here. It's something about that similar, but like learning that you're living under grace, you're living in favor, and there's really not much that you have to do other than to stand. We have the Hermit. Anything else, Spirit? And this hermit space is not about you hiding. This is not about you retrieving in the sense of like, oh, I'm afraid of this or I'm afraid of that. This is this it is kind of funny because we have the Queen of Cups, and here we have the King of Swords in the reverse. Anyways, there is a sense here with this hermit card that you know when to stand still, you know when to wait for the right time, and it is because of the discernment that you have with the way the spirit lives in you. And when you allow yourself to live your life from your spirit, right, when you allow yourself to allow your the spiritual aspect of yourself to lead the way, your entire life shifts, regardless of whether that's through religion or through spiritual practices. When you are leading through your spiritual life, through your spiritual self is the one guiding your life, everything falls into place for you. And whatever it is that has to, whatever truth needs to come up, whatever has to be revealed, you don't have to lift a finger, you don't have to go into detective mode or anything like that. It is just simply revealed to you. It's like seriously the news, the events, whatever it is, comes knocking at your door like, hey babe, here it is. For your closing message, this card really wants to fly out. We have the gathering around the power of community, number 26. This community, this is your spiritual community. This is your spiritual team, the team that is with you at all times. The team that is constantly communicating with you, constantly guiding you, constantly showing you the synchronicity, constantly giving you these signs. And you are finally in a space where you are allowing yourself to trust them blindly. And what I mean by that is that you're no longer doubting the guidance. You're no longer doubting, excuse me. Why did I say doubting? Doubting the guidance or doubting the clarity that your spiritual team brings to you. And I really do love to see that energy for you, my love. Alrighty. Taurus, Gemini, cusp. Taurus, Gemini, cusp. You're you're being advised to tread lightly whatever road or whatever path that is that you're choosing to go down this specific week. And there's something here that you may be jumping the gun, or you may be jumping into something without having like all of the informations, or without having all of the knowledge behind something. So just be aware of that, because that can definitely cause some extreme challenges and lessons within that space. So like, let's say, and I'm just using this as an example, like meeting somebody in a romantic setting, and going from like meeting them today and like a week later, 2 weeks later, like moving in with them, and it's like you're jumping the gun into something way too quickly. You don't know this person. You may feel like you know this person, but you don't really know them. You know what I'm saying? And there's something about that, like having some type of restraint. Like if you go for an interview, like don't quit your job until you have the other offer. Like going for an interview is not a guarantee of a job. It's something in that space of like where you may be a little like it's almost kind of like you have some type of urgency to get to some type of destination, and the minute that there seems to be a possibility for that destination, you just you jump the gun without even thinking about it or without even analyzing it. And when I say that, I'm not asking you to like overthink anything or over process anything, but also make sure that when you're taking step forward, you're taking them with discernment and knowing what it is that you're getting yourself into, or at least knowing that spirit is going to have your back and whatever it is that you're going forward. This does seem to be a space for those of you that you're jumping too quickly into a relationship, or you're quitting a job without having something secure. This does seem like an irrational decision. This does seem like it's coming um, from an irresponsible space. Now, some of you are questioning, well, spirit is always, you guys are always saying spirit says to take risk. Yes, calculated risk. Spirit does not want you looking a fool out here. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Sorry, I gotta move this. The spirit's theme for your life is not to make you look like a complete fool. So that means calculated risk is like you know exactly when to act and when to hold back, when to pursue and when to hold back. And that only comes from your discipline with your connection with spirit, and from learning to have discernment that comes from within, other than just rushing through something or wanting to get to a destination without even really knowing which path spirit wants you to take for that destination, because it is not always the way that you want it to be or the way that you think that it's meant to be. um there's definitely a sense here of like, again, we are revisiting this energy of like the calculated risk energy is what I really want you to consider during this time as you're trying to take some type of risk. If something is meant to be, or something is meant to be yours, there shouldn't be this sense of urgency, or this sense of like, I got to do like a thousand things to, to get it, or something like that. When something falls into alignment with you, it just falls into alignment with you. Whatever this energy is, very much feels like something that you're trying to force. I'm going to be completely honest. Something that you, spirit may have shown you the end goal, right? Like you may have had a vision about this or that, like, right? Like there is a big vision that I have for myself and for how I'm moving forward, what I want to create. But I am also aware that there are steps to getting to that. And I have to be in a space where I am constantly listening to spirit as to how it is that we're going to get to that final destination, right? To that big vision that I had. And the moments that I have, and because we're blunt here, right? The moments that I have tried to go in a different direction, or I've tried to take a risk without like calculating, or I've tried to take a risk that spirit is like, hey, bitch, like I told you to hold on, right? Then it seems to like set you back 2 or 3 steps instead of moving you forward. And that is one of the lessons that you're learning this time, that yes, you are invited to take risks, but these risks are supposed to be calculated in the sense that they're supposed to be guided through spirit. Ready? So let's pull out an oracle card. Give me one card, spirit, for Taurus, Gemini, Cusp. One card. I know that some of you is not what you wanted to hear. Number 47, the Sky Bridge, possibility for union. And in the bottom of the deck, we have teachability, number 28. This Sky Bridge, the possibility for union, it's about like spirit is telling you, yes, I put this vision, I put this desire inside of you. Now allow me to be the guide to lead you there. Allow me to guide you every step of the way, so that we can get to that, so that you can get to that destination a lot faster, and you don't have to go through all of these trials and tribulations that you have already experienced in the past. Gemini, Cancer, Cusp. Please pay extra attention this week to your dreams. There are things that are being revealed through your dreams, and things that are actually being healed. Now, as I say that, everybody has their own perception, their own opinion when it comes to dreams. I spend a lot of time there, not only because of a medical condition, but also because of just who I am spiritually, and I do believe the two are combined, right? But there is a sense that there's something here that is being healed in the dream space. Some of you are being invited to either work with water, with the sound of water, or something of that matter, to help facilitate some type of healing that is happening. So a very simple way to do that is listening to like waves or rainstorms as you're sleeping, to facilitate the flow of the emotions and the flows of the things that are happening within the dream. There is a sense here for you to start documenting or start writing your dreams. If you feel that you can't remember them shortly after waking up, maybe having like a voice recorder, using the voice recorder on your phone or something of that matter, to record the bits and pieces that you do remember. And there seems to be the number 7 keeps on coming up for some reason, and it's like there is a pattern, or there is like 7 dreams, and once you've had these 7 dreams, by documenting whether it's the bits and pieces of it, you get a clear picture of what it is that has been healed. For some of you, this has a lot to do with personal experiences that you have had, but also generational um generational trauma, we're going to call it, that has been passed on from generation to generation. So maybe the women in your family all end up losing their husband, like they all die like in tragic accidents. Or maybe all of the men in your family become single fathers. Or maybe all of the men in your family end up being hurt, like they have a back injury, or the females in your family end up with breast cancer. Whatever it is, there's something here that is lineage, that is ancestral, but has also affected you directly. And what is being healed within that dream stage has to do with that specific thing. I know it's probably not what you wanted to hear, but it should be a confirmation or a consolation for those of you that are having weird dreams that you cannot understand what the meaning is. And what I can say is like, yeah, there's great books out there that talks about if you dream this, if you dream that, but also become aware that these sensations and the feelings that you are experiencing within these dreams have a lot to say as to what they are in regards to. And so I am inviting you to go ahead and write down these dreams and then take one day this week. Sorry, guys, because this came up. Take one day this week and sit with spirit, meditate, pray, dance, sing, whatever it is that you need to do, and allow spirit to give you the discernment exactly as to what it is. It's like it's going to click, and the minute that it clicks for you, what it is that is being released, what is being healed, you're going to feel this burst of energy like coming down from your crown all the way down through the soles of your feet and like being released from your body. Do not try to force what it is that you want to heal. Instead, allow whatever is in the midst of healing already to be completed. Does that make sense? Sometimes we get in our own way because what we want to heal, what we want to focus on, is not necessarily what we're ready for, and it's not necessarily what spirit wants our attention on. And that is one of the lessons that you're learning this week. That is not, you're not the one calling the shots when it comes to this, at least not this time, my love. And I really, I could get deeper in that because you did call the shots. You just called the shots maybe like a couple of years ago, or a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, and now it is actually turning up um, in your reality. We have the number 19, falling angel, the spiritual narcolepsy. And it's kind of funny that this comes up when it comes to dreams. Again, I was diagnosed with narcolepsy about back in 20, oh shoot, it's gonna be 10 years this year. And I do have a page where I talk about what narcolepsy is and etc. But there is a sense here like narcolepsy is the falling asleep, the inability of controlling your own wake and sleep cycle. And it's I say that it's funny that this comes up because again, you are trying to control an aspect of your healing or aspect of your journey that is not up to you to control, that it is up to you to surrender, right? So the minute that I surrender to the narcolepsy diagnosis, not in the thing I was like, oh, I'm disabled, but in the sense of like what narcolepsy actually is, and I allow my body to fall into that natural rhythm that it wanted, my life started to change immediately. And it's almost kind of like that is what spirit is asking you to do, is like trust that this is what needs to be healing, it needs healing at this moment. And this is the part of your journey that you're supposed to be focusing on at this moment in time. Cancer, Leo, cusp. Cancer, Leo, cusp. This week your phone seems to be on do not disturb. A lot of you are not even checking your notifications. You're not checking who's called. You're not checking for anything. You're pretty much wanting to go. Why is it though? Okay, so a lot of you are wanting to go into the space of isolation. There is this space of feeling very overwhelmed. Some of you are having like a light frontal headache, like it feels more like the forehead type of energy. When it comes to like a headache, it's very subtle, but it's very annoying because it's very persistent, is what I keep on picking up. And some of you are questioning why it is that you're feeling this, or why it is that you're being drawn this week to isolation or to wanting to isolate yourself. And there is some type of recalibration that is happening physically over some type of expansion or growth that has happened spiritually and mentally. And now it's like your body is catching up to it, right? So when we talk about the awakening phase, it is not just something that happens once. It is something that as you continue down your path, you continue to awaken and see more and and see more. We're gonna put it that way, right? And the deeper that you go into these layers, the easier that it becomes for your physical body to adjust a lot quicker. And I feel that this is a sensation that maybe you were expecting. For some of you, you're expecting this sensation to be a lot stronger, like how it was in the past or something of that matter. But it is very subtle. It is annoying in the sense that it is persistent and constant. And therefore, like your physical body is asking for some type of retreat or for some type of isolation in order to allow for the full rest of of like integrating this new way of being, like spiritually and emotionally. Now, those of you that are wondering if you're starting to feel depressed, or if this is some type of detachment type of behavior or something like that, spirit is saying no, this is just a quick recalibration. This shouldn't last more than like 3 to 4 days, to be completely honest with you. And then you're going to be back to what you quote unquote call your normal self. All righty. What else do they need to know, spirit? The Fool. There is some type of give me a second, guys. Give me two more cards. Two more cards, bro. Got three more. Okay. So there is a sense here that again, some of you, this sensation or this feeling that you're feeling physically may have you questioning whether it is like that you're going down like one of those dark phases in your life. You may have been somebody that may have battled depression or etc. in the past, and this is maybe how it may have started in the past for you, where you start to withdraw, where you don't want communications with other, and there is some type of like a little bit of anxiety here of wondering if this is what's happening. Spirit is saying no, like trust this process. You are to take the leap in this, like um as far as like trusting what it is that is happening with your body physically. There is a coming, becoming more in tune with your own um becoming in tune with how your emotions and your physical body are intertwined, and how your body perceives certain emotions is really coming in here very heavily. With a hangman in the reverse at the end, it's like you're going to come out of this feeling like a brand new person and having a different perception as to how it is that you are handling triggers moving forward. So this is definitely revolving around energies that have triggered you in the past. So we have the number 31 as your closing message in the hand. The universe is your partner, and that is what is happening this week. Spirit is showing you that the universe is your partner, that you're working hand in hand, you're working together. It is a collaboration, and you have to allow yourself to go into these processes or into these spaces where it is just you and spirit and nobody else physically outside of you. And for a lot of people, when they go down this path, when they're not used to being in isolation, when they're not used to being by themselves or sitting with themselves, this is a space that they struggle with. And the spaces that you struggle with the most are the spaces that you should be spending more time in, right? So like if you're stretching, right? If you're trying to do a split or something like that, whatever stretch is the most uncomfortable is the one that you're supposed to be doing, right? So for me, like being around people, being in group settings is more challenging than being in isolation, because I have always geared more towards isolation, even as a child. But that does not mean that I avoid group settings. That does not mean that I avoid like being in groups or being around people. Like I put myself in those situations, in those spaces, because I know that that is where my biggest growth is actually going to happen, because that is my biggest challenge. Leo Virgo cusp, there is some type of drama trying to knock at your door. I'm inviting you not to allow it in, not to allow it in, is what I want to say. Do not allow it in. You don't have to. Sorry, guys. Just checking something real quick. Um, do not allow, do not allow anybody to bring a heat like. Do not allow anybody to bring any gossip to you. You don't need to be a part of it. You don't need to engage with it. You don't need to have an opinion on it. You don't have to anything. You need to get a little bit more comfortable with saying no. You need to be more comfortable with standing with your boundaries, right? So like, let's say if I'm having a conversation with somebody and somebody's like, oh, and I'm like, I don't want to know about it, right? I do not want to know about it. I do not want to be a part of that. That is between you and that person and that other person. Like I very much am very blunt when it comes to people trying to pull me into the drama, or when people are trying to pull me into their BS. Like my families, my friends, everybody knows if you're cheating on your spouse or you're doing this or you're doing that, do not tell me, because I'm not the person to tell. Because again, I'm gonna stop you right now. I'm gonna be like, I don't want to know. That's it. Like I don't want to know. Or if you are, doing something behind your partner's back, or you're doing something wrong at work, or what, I'm not. No, I don't want to know. No, I'm not your confidant when it comes to that. And I'm being completely honest, because the way that I see it is like the boundaries that I set for myself are based on my values and my morals. Now, when I say that, it is not about, people mistake that for judging others. No, it's not about judging. You do you, my love. I'm going to love you regardless of anything. I just don't want to be a part of it. And sometimes people have a hard time realizing that you can love somebody, you can support somebody for who they are, but you don't have to be entangled in whatever mess they are entangling themselves in, right? And that is what you are being invited to do this week, is like when somebody is trying to bring any type of drama to your door, it's like, nah, baby, we're not doing that. Close that door on that shit and keep on moving forward. Because if not, you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to then become like the main problem within a situation that had nothing to do with you. I had nothing to do with you. So Like, let's say if you have a friend that is having marital issues, right, and they come to you and they're like, oh no, she's doing this or he's doing this and this and this and that, you can listen. But I'm telling you right now, do not put your freaking 2 cents into their relationship, because at the end of the freaking day, you're going to end up being the one in the wrong. You're going to be the issue in the relationship, because they're going to go back and be like, oh no, because so and so said that, and it's like, wait, what? No, 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 no. Do not give you like, I don't know. And I feel like this is a repetitive pattern where people come to you for opinions or advice, and then when you give your advice and they get back happily, whether with their ex or with their friend or their family member, whatever it is, it's like you end up being in the outskirts of thing, and then you end up having to process you end up having to process issues that are not even yours to begin. You need to stop trying to be a savior for everyone. You need to stop trying to be the problem solver for anyone. Anybody that I give advice to, they're paying for it. They're coming to me and they're like, all right, I want a reading, and whatever comes through is whatever comes through. And that is a channeled advice. You get what I'm saying? Now, if I have a friend, if I consider somebody a friend and I give them advice, I know that that shit is not going to come back to bite me in the ass. I know that for a fact. What I'm talking about here is this energy where a lot of you have gotten to a position or have put yourself in a place where you're constantly giving people advice for things that they are not ready to listen to, for things that they are not ready to take action on. And that is when it comes and bites you in the back, and then their issues become yours, my love. All righty. Let's pull out an oracle card as your closing message. Ooh, I know that you don't like it, baby, but you're gonna have to take a step back, my love. Take a step back. First breath, number 21, beginner's mind. Some of you are still stuck in this ideology or belief that because you're gifted in some type of way, that you are mandatory or obligated to solve everyone else's issues, to solve everyone else's problem. And what you have to come into the understanding, however it is that you want to word it, is irrelevant, is that you're supposed to be seeking the discernment as to what situations you're supposed to be giving those advices. What situations are you supposed to be investing in? What problems you're supposed to be helping solve? It is just a reality of it. There is a sense here of like needing to take a step back and allowing spirit to guide you so that you can have that discernment as to, you know, one of the things that I always say is like, I'll have people that reach out and they want a reading, and the minute I tap into the energy, and spirit is like, they're not ready. And it's not that they're not ready for what they want to know, because they are ready for what it is that they want to know, but they're not ready for what spirit wants them to know. And I'll be very quick and be like, you know what, not now. Check in a month, check in 2 months. Just the timing is just not right. And and until this day, with the grace of spirit, these people always come back at the 2 months mark or the 3 months mark, whatever it is. They'll reach out again and be like, hey, I think I'm ready. And I'll be like, you know what? Let me tap in and see. Yeah, you're ready. Let's go ahead and do it. And because otherwise, if I go into a reading, if I go into a space and the person is not ready, I am doing a disservice, not just to myself, but also to that person, because I can create more damage than good. Right. And that is something that spirit is showing you during this time, my love. Virgo, Libra, cusp. Virgo, Libra, cusp. I keep on seeing like ripped pages or ripped manuscript or something. What is it? You're dismantling something, but it's something that you have created. Okay. So there is a dismantling of something that you've created with somebody else. You may have been collaborating with somebody like on a project, or this may just be a simple relationship, as simple as a relationship dissolving, separating, getting a divorce, separating everything to like the last T, is what I'm picking up. But I just keep on seeing somebody like seriously like taking a manuscript, like a notebook or something, and just like shredding it, like tearing it apart. There is a lot of anger and resentment within this space. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's not about judging you or anything like that. You feel what you need to feel. Just do not allow yourself to get stuck within that space. So whenever you're feeling angry, whenever you're feeling resentment, acknowledge that feeling and ask spirit to allow you to guide you how to release that feeling, is what I want to say in regards to that. Your feelings are valid. Whatever it is that this person did, whatever betrayal they did towards you, it is valid. For some of you, if this is a dissolution of a marriage or a relationship, you're finding out that your significant other is either expecting, or if somebody is expecting from like your ex. So whether you're female or male, there's somebody here having a child outside of the relationship with you. um and it may be that you and your significant other do not have kids together, so this is hurting a little bit more than if you guys had kids together. Again, every relationship, every connection has a different dynamic, but there is a dissolution of something, a breaking down of some type of foundation that you're feeling very much a lot of anger and resentment towards as it's ending. All I say again is do not stay stuck within that space. For some of you, you know, you're going to be in that space for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. And again, there's no judgment here. Nobody can tell you how to heal. It is not a linear space for everyone. Some things can be healed within a day, and other things can take a little longer depending on where it is that you are at in your own personal journey. So there is a lot here that, you know, for those of you that are feeling like you're never gonna get over this, or like this is so big, or this and this and that, like know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is an ending to the way that you're feeling at this moment in time, but only through feeling the emotions, only through diving into them and not lying to yourself, are you able to come out of this to the other side a lot quicker. Does that make sense? Do not suppress the anger, do not suppress the rage or whatever it is. Instead, allow spirit to show you how to transmute that energy into something that is going to be beneficial to you. All right, your closing message, the perfect storm, number 44, the courage to step into life. The courage to move on past this dissolution, past this tower moment, past this breakup or whatever it is. There is courage here to allow yourself to feel, to allow yourself to transmute, and allow yourself to integrate everything that is coming with this ending. Libra, Scorpio, cusp. There's a sense here of feeling alone, even though you're not alone. You may be in a connection or in a work environment that you're surrounded by people, but it pretty much feels like you are always by yourself. If this is in a romantic relationship, you are in a one-sided relationship. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. You're constantly giving, you're constantly catering to the person that you're with, and you're not receiving anything in return. Um, and relationships are meant to be built on an equal give or take. And when I say an equal give or take, different days it looks differently, right? Sometimes you're giving 70% and your partner's giving 30% of what they have, and then vice versa, right? But this very much feels like you're the one always pouring 100% into a situation, and somebody refuses to meet you halfway. Somebody refuses to see, or to have, or to try to understand where it is that you're coming from when you're asking for help, or when you're asking for quality time, or whatever it is. And you're needing to make a decision, as where spirit is telling you, like, this is as good as it's going to get between you and this person. If this is at work, this is as good as it's going to get in this job. You may be again in an environment at work where you're supposed to be working as a team, and you have the rest of the team kind of thinking that this is an independent job, when in reality it isn't, right? So I'll use this because again, it's a field that I recognize, right? Like, I was a nurse for many years, and you do unfortunately, and I'm going to be honest, you do unfortunately have nurses that sometimes feel like they are above their medical assistants, the CNAs, they are above whatever. And sometimes you have doctors that feel that they are above the nurses, above the medical assistants, above the CNAs. And it's like, in reality, working together as a team is what is in the best interest for the patient, right? So here is a space where some of you are in some type of environment that is similar like that, and it's like everybody is working as if they are all individually, and it is not benefiting the patient, it's not benefiting the organization or whatever it is. So there's a sense here that for you to see a change, or for you to be in a place like a work environment or whatever that allows you to feel like you're working on a team, you're going to have to walk away from your current situation. Now, as I say that, we have here the Three of Swords and the Death in the reverse. Some of you have a hard time when it comes to changing jobs, or changing careers, or changing places. You get very complacent when it comes to environments. You get very comfortable, and it takes a lot for you to walk away from these type of environments. And the same can be said for relationships. So this is one of those teachable moments that spirit is trying to show you the reality of situations, and is urging you to pay attention to the steps that you need to take in order to get yourself out of these situations. All right, give me a closing message. Give me a closing message. There we go. What flew out? The first breath, a beginner's mind. This came out for somebody else as well. Number 21. There's a new perception and a new way of seeing things, a new way of moving around with things that you're being invited to do. Now the question is, are you going to take it, or are you going to? Ooh, excuse me. Are you going to take it, or are you going to allow yourself to repeat another pattern? Is what I want to say, or another cycle within the space. Scorpio, Sagittarius, CUSP. Something there's an energy here of like you really wanting to stand your ground, or really needing to stand your ground, needing to stand solid, or needing to stand on solid ground. There's a situation in your life that you're not 100% sure how is it going to evolve, or how is it going to move forward. There seems to be a lot of confusion. Someone is not certain here about like what this means. So if there's changes at work in regards to like new boss, or the company is being sold out, or sold, or something of that matter, there is certainty here of like who is staying and who they're getting rid of. If this is within a relationship, there is somebody that may have asked for space, and I'm going to put it like this, but not giving you a guideline as to what that space looks like, right? So somebody may have just said like, "Oh, I need a space," and now they're out there acting like they're single, right? Instead of like, "Okay, I need space, but then this means that we're going to see other people. This means that we're going to do this, and we're going to do that." No, they're just saying, "I need space." They're leaving you in the limbo, so you're not dating, you're not seeing other people, but this person is. So, like again, there is some type of uncertainty space that is leaving you in the limbo, and you're just like, What the heck? Like, can somebody please clarify this for me?" um and there's a sense here that you're being asked to like, why are you just sitting in limbo? Like, if you want clarity, then you're going to have to go out and get it. You're going to have to be asked the difficult questions. You're going to have to be completely direct. If this is in love, or this is in career wise, like, you're going to have to speak up. This is not a situation for you to kind of like sit and wait for someone to decide what is going to happen. You should be part of the decision, is what I'm picking up, especially like if this is in love. You should be part of the decision of what this break looks like, or this space, or whatever it is looks like. And to be honest with you, my love, this space should really be a breakup. Now, it's going to rub some of you the wrong way, but this space, and I feel that when the time is up for the space, you're going to realize that this should have been a breakup, and that the weeks or the months that you waiting for the space, or this break that you guys were having, should have ultimately been a breakup. And I feel that when this person comes back around, it's going to be too late. You're not going to want to reconcile. All right, let's go ahead and your closing message. These cards are just lying today. Number 38, many masks, the authentic self. In this space of confusion that somebody's putting you in, you're realizing not just who they are, but truly who you are, and truly what it is that you have been putting up with, that you really don't need to. There were parts of yourself that you had to dim. There were parts of yourself that you had to silence in order to stay with a certain connection, and you're realizing that you're not wanting that for yourself anymore, my love. Sagittarius, Capricorn, cusp. Um, Taking bold steps forward is the main thing here. There does seem to be an energy here that is either trying to cause some type of doubt. Now, what I mean by that is you may be taking some step forward towards either a romantic relationship, or some type of project, business, whatever that you want to launch. This is something new, this is something fresh. And there seems to be a couple of things that are happening simultaneously. So like you either get a cold, or you get a flat tire, or something of this matter as you're going towards something. So like if this is somebody new that you met and you have a date plan, and all of a sudden you come down with a cold and you have to cancel. If you have a job interview and you're getting up and it's like, oh, your car, you have a flat tire when you wake up. These are not, and I'm going to say it again, these are not signs that this is not what is meant for you. These are opportunities for you to show up. Meaning, if you have a flat tire, My love, it's really not that big of a deal. If you don't know how to change it, you don't got time for triple A to come, it's perfectly fine. Call yourself an Uber, make it to that interview. If you get a cold, okay, reach out to the person and be like, you know what, we're gonna have to but do not fall trap that when opportunities of challenges present themselves, you start to see them in a negative way. Move forward. So like a very simple example, whenever I would start in the past to record and start putting myself out there, like on YouTube, on social media, something would happen. Something would happen that would make me feel like, oh, it is not the right time, and I would just simply stop. And you know, I'm not ashamed to say it, because like honestly, I was just like, you know what, nah, like this just seems like way too many hurdles to go through, right? And this time around, when I started back at the end of last year, I was like, okay, let's see, what does this look like if I push through. And I mean, I think this time around I am dealing with a lot of more personal things than I was a couple of years ago, to be honest with you, and I'm still showing up. And it was that moment that when I realized, like, these are challenges that are presenting themselves so I can show up how I said I was going to show up. They are presenting themselves so I can finally break that cycle, so I can finally break myself free of that space. And that is what is presenting itself for you this week. So whatever challenges are coming forward, just know that you already have whatever it takes to overcome them. Okay. Anything else the Sag Capricorns needs to know? We have the Six of Cups in the reverse, the Ace of Swords in the reverse, and then we have the King of Cups in the upright. Sometimes I read out the card, sometimes I don't, guys. It is just intuitively. We have the Magician, we have the Death in the reverse, and then we have the Three of Swords in the upright position. There is a sense here, again, you have been in similar situations, or you have been in similar circumstances where you, at the first sight of a challenge, either step back or step aside, or you put this notation to it that is the wrong timing or the wrong time, when in reality is an opportunity for you to use the discernment that spirit has given you, to use all the tools that you have gathered throughout your journey and throughout your process, so that moving forward, no challenge is ever too big, because you don't see the challenges in a negative way. You don't have this negative perception of the challenges, because when you have a negative perception of the challenges, it can feel very constricted within your physical body. It can feel like fear, and then it kind of stops you in your tracks. So changing your perception about challenges this week is really going to help you, my love. Give me a closing message, Spirit. A closing message. One card. A closing message. I love the way the fire is dancing right now. A closing message. Deep river. Diving into task. Number 10. Diving in, not allowing anything or anyone to get in your way. Diving deep, 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 deep. A deep diver. I really love this energy. It's like diving in without a care in the world, regardless of whatever is happening, regardless of the challenges, regardless of whatever, you're going forward and you're not allowing anything to stop you. Love that energy for you, love. Capricorn, Aquarius, cusp, you're needing to fast. Don't know. Now, whether you have made some promises, some offerings of fasting, when I say fasting, it doesn't necessarily have to be food, guys. It can be social media, it can be sex, it can be a hobby, it can be drinking, whatever it is. I don't know. You have put yourself in a situation or position where you offer either a spirit, a deity, whatever, that you are going to fast something for an extended period of time. I don't know for what, but the spirit is very much coming through and saying you need to pay up your debt. They show up, they did what you asked, they intervened for you in whatever way it was, and now you need to pay the piper. That's what is coming through. And as I'm saying that, is like you're needing to have a reminder, or you're being reminded that when with the same joy that you ask, the same way, the same joy that you offer is the same way with the same joy that you should be delivering, right? So we'll use the example of, like, if somebody borrows money from you, right, and they say that they're going to pay you on the 7th of, like, somebody borrows $100 and they say, hey, I'm going to pay you on the 7th of April. When the 7th of April comes around, you shouldn't have to reach out to this person on the 7th of April. This person should either be coming towards you, or they should be selling you your money, or whatever it is, right? Because they came to you asking for something with a lot of joy, with a lot of like enthusiasm, and yeah, I'm going to pay, and this and this and that. And then when the 7th comes around, they're not paying. paying. And that is like the energy that I am seeing right here, where you may have made some type of offering about fasting or something like that to like your spiritual team or one specific energy within your spiritual team, and you haven't paid up. Now, if this is not spiritual, maybe you have made you overextended yourself, or you offer to help somebody in some type of way, and the time is approaching, and now you're wanting to back out. And it's like, remember, your word is all you have, is what I keep on hearing. Maybe that is a logo or a slogan, whatever that you use for yourself. Like, you tend to keep your words when you say you're going to do something. Now, this is interesting. Here we have a tower moment. Ooh, the Nine of Wands in the reverse, and we have the Nine of Cups, Seven of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. We have the Hermit at the bottom of the deck. I don't know. There's not paying this debt is going to cause, there's going to cause some type of turbulation, some type of chaotic energy. And again, this is not. I don't care what you do. To be honest with you, I don't care what you practice, what you connect with. Just be aware that there are certain energies, whether you want to call them goddesses, deities, um, entities, whatever, that work by exchange. It's a give and take, and they're very specific as to what it is or how it is that they like to be paid. Um, and if you are one that is practicing or engaging in these type of practices, just know that when you don't pay, whatever it is that they did in your favor, they can come in and also destroy. For those of you that are in that frequency, in that space, just kind of be aware of that, because that is the energy that I'm seeing here. All right, let's pull out an oracle card for your closing message. Pay the piper, my love. Pay your debt. Um, pay your debt. Like, when it comes to stuff like that, I am very much like, if I make an offering, I follow through. Number 56, the wall, obstacles. If you want to avoid obstacles, or you want to avoid challenges and things that have already worked out for you, if you don't want to feel like you're setting back or anything like that, or if you're starting to feel like you have some type of setback, if you're starting to see that you're having a little bit more challenges, a little bit more obstacles, my love, there is some type of debt that you have not paid and you're being asked to pay during this time. And this can be something as simple as like lighting up a candle for somebody. Like, I'm being completely honest with you, or feeding Mother Nature. I don't know. There's something that you offer that you haven't come through with. Aquarius, Pisces, cusp. Why are you hiding this week? Your energy is like seriously like hiding from me this week. In the water. Um, you're keeping something hush hush. You're not wanting somebody to see what it is that you're working on. You're leaving with everything, is what I keep on hearing. Some of you are planning some type of exit strategy from either a like a career, like a job, or a relationship, but you're taking everything, is what I keep on hearing. Like, they're not even going to know what happened or what hit them or something of that matter. You're hmm, there seems to be maybe one or two people that are aware of what it is that you're doing. You're keeping whatever this is very much under the radar, under the radar. For those of you that this is like a new business or something like that, because I am seeing that, um, you're definitely keeping it out of the under the radar, because there's somebody that seems to be wanting to be in competition with you, and you're just like, my love, we're not even on the same page about something. Um, it's very interesting though that you're really hiding this. You're basically telling me like, mind your own effing business. That's what it feels like. Oh, I don't know, dragon. Something about a dragon is there's a symbolism of a dragon here. And I say and I laugh, because it's like, these are collective message. So when I see like mind your own effing business, is like, okay, but it's collective. But that's pretty much what it looks like. A dragon is a spiritual energy that represents a potent catalyst for transformation, personal power, and spiritual awakening. Um, some of you are learning, is what I'm hearing. Learning how to set certain boundaries, like when you're trying to, how can I put it? Like, when you're trying to bring something into creation, or when you're trying to bring something into light. there may have been, issues or spaces in the past where you may have shared something prematurely and then it didn't come to pass, or sharing certain things with certain people interfere with the plans, right? Because then you start having different people's opinions, and um, you would open yourself up to other people's opinions or expectations of what it was that you were doing, and that would in itself cause chaotic energy that would stop whatever it was that you were working on in the past in its track. And maybe this is a lesson that you have learned, and therefore you're you're choosing during this time not to share something. You're waiting for this individual, these group of people, to see the outcome of something without you sharing what it is that you're doing. There is a lot of balance within this energy. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This feels very grounded, and this feels very thought out. Like it's a very thought out process. You're not doing anything in a rash or in a quick matter, if that makes sense. This has been a long time coming. And that's as much as you are allowing me to see. And I am one that if I'm not invited, I'm not coming through. Let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle message for your closing message. That was kind of interesting when it comes up like that. Like I usually have stuff like that when people want to look like into other like exes energies and stuff like that. I'm like, I really like, unless the energy presents itself, I don't like digging, because people be not do not be aware about certain things like energetically, the energetic responsibilities within these spaces. Alrighty. We have the Garden of Venus, rest and renewal, number 25. You're very much in this space of like walking into the season or walking into the space, knowing that something is working in your favor. And this retriever, this energy of like hiding or whatever, is more of like a retrieving or a resting before releasing something or before making something known or seen. Beautiful energy. Pisces, Aries, cusp. Pisces, Aries, cusp. You're releasing the last few tears in regards to something that broke your heart. Now, whether this was a medical condition or a financial issue or relationship or whatever, there is finally some type of closure that is coming to a cycle, to a season in your life that was very challenging, and that showed you who you truly are and what you're really truly made of. Um, the season in your life that you're coming out of feels like it took everything from you. Like it took your financial stability, it took your emotional stability, it took your self-worth, it took everything. And it has taken, and when I say this, like this energy feels like this turmoil, this energy that started maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and the last year and a half to 2 years has really been about rebuilding everything that was destroyed, rebuilding everything that was torn down, is what I'm picking up. There is still an aspect of you or part of you that still feels like, I'm gonna try to do it without spilling water. Like that still feels like you're like this, like you see, like balancing back and forth. Um, and when you realize that that is what life is about a balancing act, balancing and finding your footing, staying grounded. But even when you're, if you practice yoga, you'll notice that there's some days where your balance is like on point, like nothing can move you, and there are days where I'm holding on to a chair with every single pose because my physical body is just not balanced as it should be, right? And and that is kind of like what spirit is reminding you, like, yeah, you're at the end of this. If you do find yourself crying, 1 or 2 days out of this week, just know that it's like the final tears that were left in you in regards to this situation. It is not that you excuse me, it is not that you're regressing, or it's not that you're regretting or anything like that. It is a cycle finally clearing, and it is a way of your physical body finally releasing the clearing of this cycle. I really love this energy. Please do not try to suppress it. Do not get angry at yourself. Have a lot of grace with yourself when these tears come up. Maybe, yeah, in the past you may have cried because you were hurt, you may have cried because you were upset, you were angry, but now these tears are coming as part of the grieving process of closing a chapter. Because regardless how uncomfortable, how painful a chapter is in your life, when it finally comes to a close, there is still grieving that is happening in that space. And it's not painful or anything like that. These very much feel more like tears of joy. And the only thing that is concerning here is your perception of it. You may feel, or you may start to doubt yourself, or you may start to think like, oh, why am I crying? Like, am I still on this? Like, am I still holding on to this person? Am I still holding on to the situation? Am I still holding on to this or that? And it's like, no. Allow yourself to allow this to be clear to you that you are releasing this. You've done a lot of work within this space, and I feel that the the work that you did within this shadow space, the shadow work that you did, was intentional. This was not something that I feel that spirit dragged you into. I think that you went into this space specifically for this situation, this aspect of it, intentionally, to finally heal and release from something. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for your closing message. Deep diver. Somebody else had this. And then we have the full embrace, transmuting pain, number 22. So this kind of very much feels like your entire reading. With a deep diver is diving into task. Um, so you willingly went into this transmuting pain. You went into this fool's embrace. You went into the shadow work. And now you're seeing how everything is coming full circle, and how you're no longer in the same place that you were at 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even 2 years, a year and a half ago, when you started this journey of finally, once and for all, releasing all of this. I love this. Well, guys, that is all that I have. As always, sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.